Alright, so SOP 4203, document control. The purpose of this procedure is to provide for implementation of policy and assigning responsibilities for establishment, review, authorization, issuance, distribution, and revision of quality system documents prior to use. So this applies to all documents with a critical bearing on the quality of the final product. Categories of controlled quality system documents include the quality manual, which is the one that I sent you guys, the SOP 40-00. Procedures, specifications and work instructions, both internal and external. Records including job tickets, travelers, inspection records, QCI, and SCD drawings. Records and governed separately under DCM document change notice. The purpose for each category of documents is defined in the quality manual, the SOP 40-00. Paper-based or part folder documents are identified or created. Computer copies of these master drawings are stored on the network as for use by the engineering group. Windows type documents are stored as XXX-NNR, where XXX is the Coast ACM base part number, NN is a dash number, and R is a revision of the drawing. DOS type drawings are stored as XXXXRNN, where I'm just going to say X4 is the Coast ACM base number. R is the revision of the drawing, and NN is a dash number. This DOS format applies to basically design CADD drawings, where only an 8-character file length name is possible. So we don't really deal with those, so we don't have to worry about that. The drawings are dealt with by the engineer. So, active job travelers contain controlled copies of the documents. Changes to the documents must be checked against active job travelers and incorporated as appropriate. So this is just saying that the format, this is the suggested format for the SOPs, this is an SOP. It's just saying like how it's going to be composed. So it's going to have the SOP number, which is this right here, the rev number right here, the title right here at the top, the author, which is the person that writes it. So if you were to create a work instruction for or an SOP for the very first time, doesn't exist, you're not updating one that already exists, right? You would put your name right there because you're the author, you're the one that first wrote it. Approval, which I'm not sure actually what that one would be, but the effective date, which is right here, and then the page numbering, that doesn't really apply to these. Purpose, scope, references, related documentation, definition, responsibilities, and procedure. So this isn't the exact way that you do it, if you look at other ones, which you should do, you should always use another one as reference as how to type it out, how to do it. But it all always contains this information. So the quality assurance manager is responsible for the proper execution of this procedure because he is the one that you have to go through to get approvals on the forms anyways. So all documents are identified by title, document number, date of issue, revision level, identification of the issuing authority, and an authorized approval signature. Any temporary posted instructions and temporary changes to documents do not require formal document control. They need to be dated and authorized, but they are not required to have a revision number change unless deemed inappropriate. So establishment of initial issues and revisions. So the initiative to establish a new or revised existing internal document may be taken by anyone in the organization. The person wishing to initiate a document or a revision may submit a draft of the proposed document to his or her supervisor. Regardless of who initiates the document, the responsibility to review, approve, and issue the document always rests with the management representative. So what this is pretty much saying is that anyone in the company can change or update a procedure. So if you have an idea like, hey, I think this would be better to do, or we shouldn't have to do this, we should do this instead of anything that you come up with that you think will help the process along faster, or maybe something that you just don't notice that is not in the procedure and you think that it should be in the procedure, you can go ahead and take it upon yourself and go ahead and submit those updates to your manager or supervisor. So pretty much what this is saying is that you send it to Ryan. So anything you want to update and make changes to, you can do it, and then you send the copy to Ryan. He'll approve it. or not, depending on what it is. So the revision coding system shall be based on an alphabetic sequence, with the original document having revision level dash or NC, no change, and continuing A, B, C, A, B, A, C. So it's just saying that this is how you're gonna do the revision. You're gonna go A, all the alphabet until Z, and then once you already use revision Z, you're gonna go ahead and start using revision AA, revision AB, revision AC, so on and so forth. Documents of external origin are reviewed as needed by appropriate personnel under guidance from the president prior to release by document control. So it's pretty much just saying that, the president or whoever needs to review those documents will review them as well before they're released. Control of external documents. External documents, industry standards, government, military specifications, etc. And the revision changes shall be stored and controlled in the master document. Have you guys had a chance to kind of go through that one, the master document yet?
Yeah. Every now and then, it's just you have to go through it.
Right here. No, that's the quality manual.
And it's kind of hard to find.
Yeah, I'll look for that one later.
Yeah. But it's in the document center. So.
Yeah, there's like a little specific tab, and I'll show you guys where that's at, but a little later. The organization shall subscribe to an outside notification service that delivers automatic updates in regards to relevant external documents. If required, the notification shall prompt the acquisition of the revised document. I personally haven't had to deal with any of this, but if any of those documents usually have to be updated, you'll get a notification from Ryan saying, here's the document updated in the master document. The new revision shall be added and updated in the master document. If necessary, any material, specified drawings, forms, procedures, etc. associated to the updated external document shall also be updated. So issue. Prior to issue and release, documents are reviewed for adequacy, correctness, and conformance with quality policies. A document is considered to be formally issued when an authorized approval signature is placed on the document change history and the appropriate copy is released. Let's see, placement of initial issues and revisions. The distribution list on the master document is maintained in the master list Excel. So we have the master document and then we have a master document list. So this list is an Excel sheet and it has different tabs, SOPs, forms, and then specific work instructions have each tab for each department. So that you'll go through it. I'll show you in a second how to go through it. So you're gonna copy and paste the current revision from the server to the user's desktop in order to make changes to the draft. So pretty much what that is saying is that you're gonna take this copy, right? So let's just pretend we're updating. So let's say we need to update that one. The SOP 7601. One was the one for calibration. So you're gonna Control C or right click and do copy. And then you're gonna paste it onto your desktop so that you're not writing on the original one because that's the only original one. So you don't want to accidentally, redo the whole thing and then save it and then you just wrote over our copy, our original copy. So that's why you want to copy the original one first and then work on the copy. Yeah.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, that's the only, you just gotta make sure when you're doing that because you don't want to mess up because then you're kind of screwed and you gotta retype the whole thing as the old one because we still have the PDF version, but then you gotta redo the whole Word version. It's just unnecessary. So you're gonna make the necessary changes to the document and update to next available revision letter in the master document. Which, honestly, I don't know where this one's at. Nope. Master document list. Yes. So see, this is the master document list. So here's the SOP. These are a list of all the SOPs we have. This is the document number. This is the date that these were all approved on. The title of it, the current revision that it's on, who was written by, and who was approved by. The format's always the same. It's always digital. and then this one's always server. So here forms, accounting, work instructions, purchasing work instructions, QA, shipping, material control, IT, and customer service. Also HR. So it's just saying that the next available revision. So let's say we're doing what, SOP 7601, right? So when you're working on a new one, you want to delete the date, and then you want to change the revision. So the next revision would be M. So that means that this copy that we're working on, that we're being revised, we're going to change it to Rev M. Okay, so the revisions of documents are distributed to the identical locations as the original issues. Printed copies are always uncontrolled unless stamped otherwise by document control as controlled. Specific locations of controlled copies of documents are maintained by document control. I have yet to, stumble upon one that says controlled. So for the most part, all of these are uncontrolled, which just means that however many copies you want to make can be made. It's not being controlled. Current document versions are stored on the server in PDF format and Word format. So as you guys can see, all those SOPs right here, they have a Word and then the PDF version. The PDF version only has the SOP, the document number pretty much. The Word one has to have which revision it is and what the title of that document is. So the new revision / document shall be updated in the master list Excel. This revision right here. The document shall not be updated until authorized signature has been obtained in the master list. So that's just pretty much saying that you can't just approve it yourself. You have to wait till it's approved, and then Ryan will go in there, and he sometimes only just puts his initials here. That's his approval. Sometimes he goes ahead and he puts the date for you, but if he does it, you have usually emails to rely on, because you have to email him and let him know, like, hey, this has been updated, please approve it. And then sometimes or for the most part, he'll email you back and say this is approved. So if he didn't approve it on here, but he approved it via email, just send him a reminder and say, hey, can you please approve it on the list? Because technically we're not supposed to put his initials there. He's supposed to give the approval. And then the original date that he approved it on, you go ahead and put it here. So let's say he approved it today, but you couldn't get to it because you've been so busy and you can't, update everything till next week. You're still supposed to put the date that it was approved on.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So archiving and removal of previous versions. You're gonna update document change history by going into the file, prepare, properties, and typing in the revision, date and reason for change. So all that's saying is, so we're gonna go back to our example here. So you already made all your changes and everything. This one's being changed to Rev. It was M, I think, right? So then we have to go here, prepare, properties, and then you scroll. And then you pretend the L's right there, right? It says something. And then you would do Rev M. And then if you only change like one thing, you can put specifically like made changes to section 4.1.2, let's say. Or if you added a picture only, then you can go ahead and added a new picture to 4.1.4.
Yeah.
You just gotta specify where, if it's just one little change. If you made several changes, you can go ahead and just be kind of brief and just put made a change to section 4.
Okay.
Things like that. And then you put the date that you made the changes on. So let's see. You already did that, the reason for the change. You're gonna cut the PDF. So this is for archiving and removal of the previous version. So the old one, the one that you're taking place of. You're gonna cut the PDF and the Word document from the current location you're gonna paste it into history. I'll show you guys in a little bit. So the hard format